Organization. It's exactly what we need to do in order to make our workflow easy as possible. How many hours could you save if you always have your B-roll, your music, and your sound effects readily available? And is there a better way to do it than with power bins? I don't think so. So that's what we're going to go over today, and I'm going to make your life easier. My name is Chad. I make DaVinci Resolve tutorials, and I help speed up your workflow with systems and processes. That way you can focus more on your own business growth. So if you find this content is useful, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. So let's jump on into it. All right, so let's get started here on the edit page. First thing we're going to do is reset the user interface layout. I'm going to come up to workspace, come down to reset UI layout. This way, everything is the way it should be from the start. So what we're going to do is work on our power bins here. So as you can see here, we have smart bins. They're all the way here at the bottom. I don't actually need them. The other bin I have is my master bin, which has all the media that we already have. However, we do not see smart bins over here. So what we need to do is come up here underneath where it says sound library, the three dots here above our master. We click on that and we can come down to here where it says show power bins. That's right below where it says show smart bins, which has that check mark, and we click on that. Once we click on that, as you can see now on the left side here, the power bins has shown up. So let's drag this up. And you can see it says master for that as well. Let's click on that. And as you can see, we have nothing there. What you should do is organize what you want in your power bin first. So I have already done that. As you can see here, this is on my SSD that I always use. So I will always have this already available to me on here. Make sure you save it to one that you will always have everything on. So in this file here, I have B-roll, which has 4 videos. There are a bunch of videos in there. I have some logo media. So if I wanted to use, say, a YouTube thing or my DaVinci Resolve logo. I have all the music that I consistently use for my YouTube videos, and I have some sound effects. So on this one, I created a second folder which has my whooshes and a stone slide, and then this has a couple other sound effects. Okay, so now let's take this folder and we're going to bring it in here. But first I want to show you what not to do. Once you have everything organized the way you want, you make sure you create your main folder and then your subfolders and put everything where it belongs. Let me show you what not to do though. If you grab this and you drag it and you bring it inside here onto the second column under the master, it's just going to bring all of this media in here, and that's not actually what we want. You see, we want it to be organized. So I'm going to press Command Z and it's going to disappear. Now I'm going to grab it from here and I'm going to drag it all the way to the first column under the master, the power bins. I'm going to drop it there. And now you see it has created a subfolder under the master, which has this. And if I click on that specifically, now you can see I have all 4 of my folders. I can also click on this little arrow to drop it down and see my folders there. And when you do that, you can see here the sound effects has a little arrow to it because that also has a folder. So if I select that, you can see there's the 2 there plus the folder. So if you want to organize it more with folders in folders, that's how you do that. All right, and I want to show you how all of that works. So let's start with our B-roll. For B-roll, if you're using a bunch of media all of the time, you don't have to always go search for it. You can have it right in the project all of the time. So for example, this counting money. Okay, so let's see this. And as you can see, the video just plays with that, which is great. Any of the logos, they're already there. I can just drop them in. My music. So if I want to add music, I can easily just grab whatever track I want, bring it into here. That music is already loaded. I don't need it for now, so I'm going to delete it. And also the sound effects. So if I need to add my sound effects, say I want to mouse click somewhere, I just drop that in there and now I have a mouse click. So that's how you organize all of them very easy. However, you can do so much more with the power bins. I want to get into that. So for example, I created a couple adjustment clips that I put on here. And this one's a slow zoom. So as you can see, it's just going to slowly zoom in on there because I created this slow zoom. Here I have like a jump in, so you can set up things like that, or let's create one so you can understand what I'm doing with them. So what I'm going to do is come to my effects library. I'm going to go to here and I'm just going to type in adjustment clip. I'm going to mark it as a favorite. I'm going to bring that adjustment clip in right here. I'm going to click on this. Now let me come up to my inspector at the top right and click on that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just zoom it in a bunch, and I'm going to put a keyframe next to that, drag it to the end, and I'm going to select my zoom, and I'm going to press 1, and now it's going to be a zoom out. Okay, so I'm not going to fine tune it or anything. I just want to show you what I can do here. So let me click on this top left at effects to minimize that. That way I can get into my master. And I want to show you here, when you create these, they will pop up in your master here. I did not leave it organized, so that way you can see how that comes up in there. So anyway, what I want to do is I want to grab this adjustment clip. I'm just going to drag it right into here and let it go. Now it says adjustment clip, but I want to call this zoom out. So I'm going to change that to zoom out. This way, what we can do is in our power bins, underneath of all of this, with this one selected, I'm going to create a new bin. This one I'm going to call zooms. So now with that zooms, what I can do is come back all the way up to the top to my master, click on this, and then I can take all my zooms. I'm just going to click this. I'm going to hold command, click on zoom out, and I'm going to click on jump zoom. Now I'm going to take the 3 of them and I'm going to drag that right into that zooms bin that I just created. As you can see, now they are there. And I have one other, which is here, is this text. I'm going to drag this out so I can show you what that is. So this is text plus. I went into the Fusion page and made some edits to that, so that way it'll create a bounce text. Let me click this so I have a single viewer, and what you can do is watch the text. So you see that kind of bounces in. Well, I set this up so I can cut it apart wherever I would like to. How many ever times I want doesn't matter. And when I play that, it'll just bounce like that. So what I want to do is I want to save this text. So as you see here, it's already labeled bounce text. So what I'm going to do is create a new bin, and I'm just going to put that as text plus. Then I'm going to do what I did earlier. I'm going to grab my bounce text. I'm going to drag that right on into there and drop that. And now I have my bounce text. So now we know how to organize these files. Now I need to show you what you can do with them, what makes them really truly a power bin. So a power bin is much different than your smart bins or your media bin. So now what we're going to do is we're going to export the bin. I want you to find your bin, right click, come down to export bin and click on that. This is going to come up and you're going to name it whatever you would like. So let's name this one YouTube Power Bin Demo. And I'm going to select my hard drive that I want to save it on. And I'm just going to click save. So now it's on that hard drive. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to learn how to use them. So if we come all the way down to the bottom right, you see the little cog for your project settings. Next to it is your project manager, the little home button. Let's click on that. Now, as you can see, we are in this project. But let's go to another project. Now this project has loaded, and if we come over here to our power bins, well, if you look, all of what we just made is there. So now I don't have to load up all of this B-roll footage. I don't have to load up my music or any of that. I can just take that, drag it, and drop it. So to show you, let's say that zoom out that we just made, I'm going to put that right here. And let's play it. And as you can see, that zoom out that we just made is working. However, this is very powerful to move those things around. There are certain limitations. So let's get into that so you can see what to do. So let's go back here to the project manager at the bottom right and click on that. An important aspect for our projects, let's click on this here all the way to the top left underneath of this X, and we're going to click on this. And what that's going to do is show us our project libraries. Now, as you can see, I have a whole bunch of different project libraries set up for this. So YouTube videos is what I'm working on here. But what if I go to, say, DaVinci Resolve tutorials? I'm going to go under this Star Wars fan film. Okay, now I'm under the Star Wars fan film. I'm going to come here, click here, and look, I have no power bin. So what that is, if you have come to a different project, you can just stay there. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to click back on Project Manager and go back. So within this, the YouTube videos where I created that power bin, all of these projects within that have that power bin available to it. However, none of these have that power bin available because I didn't make it for them. You can share it to them, but it's not designed that way. This way, if you have say you do a podcast or you do shorts, maybe you have clients and you have different types of videos, you use different music, you use different effects, you use different sound effects. So you're going to want your power bin to match that project library. So that's why you organize things in project libraries and your projects here. So let me go back to that so I can show you if you do want to use the same power bin or most of the media from it. What you can do is come back here, go to your master. If you come down underneath of this and you right click, you will only see new bin. That's not where we want. We want to click on the master. So we're going to right click on that. Then we're going to come down to import bin. Select that, and then we can find the power bin that we just made. So once you come down to it, you'll find your .drb. This is the power bin that we just created. So I'm going to click that and I'm going to press open. And what it has done is now loaded that power bin with all of that. As you can see here, let me grab the B-roll. Let me just go ahead and grab some media, drag it in here. And as you can see, the video is working. So that's how you use the power bins and get them across to different projects. If any of this is confusing to you, you just drop a comment below and I will happily get back to you as quickly as I can. So that is how we get organized with power bins and help us work across multiple projects. If you are confused about anything, have any questions, remember to comment below and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. And also remember to subscribe. And if you want to learn more about DaVinci Resolve, check one of these videos here. I'll see you in the next one.